Hey everyone, this is Kristen Baker, the Arts and Humanities Director for YMCA the USA. I'm here in the Second City headquarters in Chicago with Anne Libera, who's the Director of Comedy Studies here at Second City. And just for anyone who's been, kind of living under a rock for the past 50 years, can you just give a brief, idea of what Second City is?
Okay, well, Second City is a comedy theater that creates its shows through improvisation. And it has been around for 50 years. People know the original cast that included people like Alan Arkin, Mike Nichols and Elaine May, through the 70s, which is the John Belushi, Dan Aykroyd, Gilda Radner era, to fairly recent graduates, if you will, that include Tina Fey and Stephen Colbert and Steve Carell. The list goes on.
Amy Sedaris.
Amy Sedaris, exactly.
One of my favorites. And just to kind of touch on it recently, when during the date night, when Steve and Tina Fey were going around, Second City came up in almost every single interview.
Right. Well, they both met here, but also for both of them, this is a place where they met as actors. They both taught here in our training center. It's really at the core of what they do. And Tina, in fact, has many, many Second City performers in 30 Rock, as well as actually The Office is filled with people.
That's right. That's right. Yes, yes. So you guys have really kind of hit this wonderful stride at creating essentially funny people.
Well, and what's wonderful about what we do is that at base, we're not just about doing comedy reviews. We're about this philosophy of improvisation, this idea of ensemble, this idea of making your partner look good, this idea of play and of living in the moment, and that if you really embrace this yes and, that I build off of what you do, you build off of what I do, that you can create all sorts of things that you never thought possible. And we do it on our stages to create comedy reviews, but we also have a school that has nearly 2,000 students every semester, as well as a college program where we bring students in. We have a business division where we teach those skills to corporations to be better at their business. And it really is a philosophy. And, almost it's a transformational process that really creates a variety of things, including really funny actors and really good comedy reviews.
And so when, students, the 2,000 students are going through the class, can you talk a little bit about, what, and you mentioned the yes and, but what is that overriding, what is it that you think you guys touch on in people? Because you have folks who are business professionals who don't want to become the next Tina Fey. No. So can you talk a little bit about, what is it that you kind of think that you guys draw on to help people just, become more creative or have more fun?
And really, I always say this is absolutely a transformational space here. It is a place that people come to when they're ready to make a change. And I always say to the students, this work is going to change your life. What we do is we really allow people to get back to playing. And as adults, we are not given space for play, and we're not given space for failure, both of which are embraced here.
Talk a little bit more about that failure aspect.
The idea is that this is a safe place to try anything and to fail and to learn from failure. And that this is a space where failure is accepted. I mean, our theaters have a free improv set every night, and the idea is it's free because it may fail.
Yeah.
And that's part of the process of being creative, is really moving to your limit, giving yourself permission to try things that might not work so that you're not judging yourself before you do it. And that's the other piece of this, that idea that we separate that voice on your shoulder that says, oh, maybe you better not do this because someone might not like it, or
you look ridiculous.
Yes, you're not very good. We all have that voice. And part of what improvisation training does is it gives you tools that allow you to learn how to, it's not so much silence that voice as give that voice something to do. Literally, in my head, we give it a little Rubik's Cube to play with.
And then it goes away.
Right. Well, and then at least it allows that other voice that you have that says, let me dream, let me dare, let me try, and it gives that other voice room to talk. And room to guide you. And yes, eventually you come back to that little analytical piece and see what works. But so much of what we do, particularly as adults, but what we do to kids too in terms of testing and all those other things, puts them in a place of judging what they're doing before they even choose to do it. And improvisation says, do it.
Yeah.
Do it. Yes, and more. Do it and do it more and see what comes back. And then you can judge and you can evaluate and you can decide whether it's not what you want. But so often we don't even try. And that's what improvisation gives you, is that place where you get to practice that.
Yeah. Now, we were talking earlier off camera about your theater degree.
Yes.
And sort of in talking about really what is, again, that yes and philosophy, and how do you then put it into school? And you guys are actually trying to do that right now.
Yeah, we're doing something. The Comedy Studies program, which is our college program, and there is no place in the United States where you can do work in comedy in college.
And this is a master's program.
Well, we're working on. So this is now it's a study abroad program.
Oh,
so students can come from all over the country. But then the next step of this that we're actually in the process of doing is creating a master's in comedy, where someone can end up with a master's degree.
I want those letters behind my name, I have to say. That's kind of exciting.
You want to say that it's going to be a Bachelor of Science, so it'll be a BS. But
well, yeah. Indeed. But I would have to be like, Kristen has her master's in comedy, but then I would also feel pressure to be funny.
Yes.
Like, do you feel like that kind of comes with this?
Well, from the outside, yes. I mean, part of what we're doing and do with our students at every aspect is saying, don't feel pressure to be funny. Funny comes out of truth. Funny comes out of taking chances and risk and danger. Comedy comes out of vulnerability and revealing pain, and that. That idea of like you have to have a joke. Yes, your aunt will always ask you, oh, you're a comedy student?
It's almost like the stand-up, like perform, say something funny.
Exactly.
It's like...
Right, but that's not what makes a really good comedian. And that's not the comedy that actually most of us really resonate with, So yeah. And still, I've worked at Second City for 20 years, and I get that a lot. Oh, okay. Can you train people to be funny?
Yeah.
Like, no, that's not the point. I can train them
to play and have fun.
Exactly, and to discover what their comedy is.
Yeah.
That's my goal.
Well, this has been so fun and very enlightening, and so thank you so much for joining us. And we look forward to seeing who else Second City spits out.
Thanks so much.